So, you've clicked on the title, you know what it's about, the meme of the day confirms it. Money is something that we cannot live without. I most definitely can't. And if there's anything that I know, it's that your first fat paycheck is a one to remember. Deliveroo is now gripping your waist, pulling you in close and whispering free delivery just for you, darling, into your ears. Selfridges resembles Primark, and the Uber drivers now know you by name. As the month progresses, your bank account, once overjoyed with a series of numbers, is now negative. Your meals now consist of a fresh bowl of air and a wine glass full of eau de table. You walk to work now, and you told your colleagues that it's because you're doing it for charity. Outside. Lifestyle inflation is a very slippery yet tempting route whenever your earnings increase. Is the behaviour that induces this completely irrational, or is it simply justified by the principles of YOLO? Whether you've thought about it or not, today you will reach a verdict. Part 1. The what? What is lifestyle inflation? Google search says that lifestyle inflation is an increase in spending when an individual's income goes up, which causes people to get stuck in a paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. I'd argue that in this economy, that it can go as far as paycheck to pavement. When envisioning the manifestation of lifestyle inflation, you may only visualize the obvious examples. Perhaps it's deciding to move into a luxury self-contained apartment when your salary suits a house share. Maybe it's the vision of someone driving a 24-plated Benz when their financial aura suits an '07 Nissan Micra. These examples aren't false. However, we tend to forget that it's equally influenced by the little things that creep into our bank balances like thieves in the night. After all, Lana is your BFF until midnight strikes after 30 days and she has not received her monthly installment. Now she's lurking for you on the strip with an army of ballied up individuals following her lead in a disorderly formation. After their impatient wait, you unknowingly come outside to be ambushed and stripped of the outfit that you financed there and then. No remorse is felt when they leave you defenseless, naked and crying in a fetal position, the center of the road, like a newborn pre-programmed with the knowledge of all the world's atrocities. Whether lifestyle inflation slashes your wages through brutal monthly payments or through seemingly small purchases, inflicting death by 1,000 cuts, your bank balance will still need resuscitation. Entertaining a luxury lifestyle that you cannot sustain will only leave bailiffs excited to bust open your front door. Part 2. The why. Why do we lifestyle inflate? Two types of insecurity came into mind when thinking about an overall answer to this question: outward insecurity and inward insecurity. Outward insecurity is what others sense when someone is flexing, like a stench of desperation that lingers in the air. This is seen when one pursues social capital through deceiving the world by crafting a luxurious, unrealistic spectacle of themselves and the life that they are living. Flashy possessions become a worthiness banner. Material things and identities become synonymous. It's a clear shroud over the fragility of one's sense of self, a mask that they wear no matter the occasion, and it's preferred that way. I would get into the social media examples of this, but if you have eyes to see or ears to hear, you'll already be familiar with this narrative. On the flip side, inward insecurity isn't obvious to an onlooker. Perhaps you grew up not having a lot of things and you're using the money that you have now to address those wounds. You may be trying to escape the customs of a life that you don't want to remember living by sealing the route that is trying to chase and catch you down with material possessions. It's not an outward spectacle to deceive the world, just a tangible one to deceive yourself. Part 3. My favourite part. The opinion that you never asked for. I'm convinced lifestyle inflation can be okay if you're willing and able, with pure discipline, to sacrifice other aspects of your life to accommodate what it is that you want. Hear me out. A 2012 Harvard-Stanford study investigated the psychological phenomenon where people desired items more after they'd been taken away. The results of this study was in favour of the original hypothesis, thus supporting the principle of loss aversion. People feel losses more deeply than gains. If you apply this concept to lifestyle inflation, I'd say having some things that are a little above your means for the short term makes you more motivated to get them back sustainably in the future. Now, it's kind of like them right person, wrong time relationships, except in this case, they actually get back together. Obviously, a lot could go wrong when navigating life in this way. You could hit rock bottom and find yourself wallowing in self-pity and never make it back to the position that you were in before, or maybe a lack of self-control supersedes your discipline, preventing you from cutting expenses when it is critical to do so. Despite the risks, the delusional side of me says that if you never push the boundaries too far, it's fine. Anyways, if you ask me in a year how this mindset worked out for me and I proceed to run away like a fugitive, you will know the answer. Part 4. The conclusion. It's only natural to desire and possess the finer things in life. After all, you only live once. However, whilst our lives are only a blip in universal existence and finances are the least of our worries when we hit the grave, if you land yourself in financial difficulties, life will be unpleasant, and that's no way to live. Whether lifestyle inflation is entirely irrational or sometimes justifiable is entirely subjective. Only you can gauge whether future you can handle the consequences of short-term financial decisions. Anyways, never forget that today's pleasures define tomorrow's sufferings. Note to self. Until next time, Alicia, the adult.